Welcome back, y'all. I've got a real fun project today. It's a Fender jazz bass. It was made in Mexico, but it's been modified with a badass bridge. And he's shifted towards the bass all the way as far as he can possibly shift it, because these go from side to side as well as up and down and forward and back. Anyways, it's maxed out this way all the way, and we want to get it where it's okay where it is right now, but we want to get this to be more centered so we have a little bit of play. We can still go towards the bass and towards the treble. This one's also backed as far as it can, and it's still fretting sharp at the 12th fret. It needs to go back some more. So the plan is to shift, take the bridge off, plug the holes, shift it 1.25 millimeters towards the base, and shorten this screw so that it can come back a little further if that's possible. If that's not possible, then I might have to move the bridge back as well as towards the base. And if you're having the same problem, let's do it together. I'm Scotty D, and I'm going to make this bass happy. I used some thin binding tape to mark off the front and the treble side of the bridge location and the location of the low E string saddle. Here we can see the ground wire that runs from the control cavity to the bridge. That will ground the strings. Next, I want to open up these screw holes just a little bit more to accept my new wooden dowels. Now I'm dropping in a little bit of wood glue into each hole with a push pin, making sure we have plenty to coat each dowel. Get in there, glue. I used Gorilla wood glue this time. Now I'm inserting a wooden dowel into each hole, tapping it in with a hammer, and then using some end cutters. Next, I want to take that saddle adjustment screw, the one that sets the intonation that was too long, and use my cutoff wheel to take off about 3 millimeters of length. That leaves a bunch of burrs and such on the end of the screw, and I have to use a needle file to create a sort of chamfer around the edge. That way I don't strip out the female threads in the saddle. No lubrication required. Here we can see with the shorter screw that I'm able to move the saddle back a good 3 millimeters beyond where it could go originally. So there's no need to move the bridge back at all. I'm just going to shift it towards the base. And if I need to shorten that more than it is right now, that's no problem. I can go ahead and shorten it a little bit more. With the bridge clamped into its new location, I can use an awl to index where each new screw hole will need to be drilled. Now I'm drilling each hole to about 5/8 in depth. I like to put a little bit of beeswax on each screw. It helps them thread into the wood, and I think it prevents them from rusting. Finally, I drive each wood screw back into the body of the guitar. We'll hold the bridge in place. We're almost home. You can see where the old bridge location was as opposed to where it is now. Ended up being a 1.5 millimeters, shifted towards the bass side. Using a 3/64 hex screw, I can loosen the hex wrench, loosen each grub screw that holds each brass saddle in place, and just get them back towards the middle. They were previously shifted all the way towards the bass side. And that's about it. I like to polish the body and pickguard in the areas that lie underneath the strings before I put the strings on. And I like to bend each string into a slight hook so that it can clear each saddle as I push it through. And then double checking the intonation before plugging her in and taking her for a test drive. This is the final installation.